Priscilla Presley's heart-wrenching memoir reveals the hidden struggles of a life shadowed by love, loss, and the relentless glare of fame. In her latest book, Softly As I Leave You, she offers an unflinching look at the years following Elvis's death, a journey that's equal parts haunting and inspiring. But here's where it gets controversial. Did the very fame that made Elvis a legend ultimately fracture the foundation of their marriage? And how does one rebuild a life after being forever tied to a global icon? Let's dive into the story of a woman who spent half her life with the king of rock and roll, only to navigate a world that never let go of his memory. Back in 1959, Priscilla Presley was just a 14-year-old student when she met Elvis Presley, a 25-year-old soldier on a brief hiatus from his meteoric rise to stardom. Their whirlwind romance began in Germany, a far cry from the glitzy stages Elvis would dominate. By the time their marriage ended in 1973, Priscilla had already spent over a decade in the orbit of one of history's most enigmatic figures. Her 1985 memoir, Elvis and Me, became a cultural touchstone, chronicling their love story, the birth of their daughter Lisa Marie, and the slow unraveling of their relationship. Yet as Softly As I Leave You makes clear, the true emotional weight of her story only begins after Elvis's sudden passing in 1977, a tragedy that left her grappling with grief, public scrutiny, and the daunting task of defining herself beyond his legacy. What's often overlooked is the complexity of their dynamic. Elvis, a man torn between his devotion to Priscilla and the demands of his career, became a paradox, a doting father and husband who also lived in a world of superstardom. Priscilla's reflections force us to ask, was their separation inevitable, or did the pressures of fame make it impossible to sustain a normal life? And this is the part most people miss. Her memoir isn't just about Elvis. It's about the resilience required to reclaim one's identity after being shaped by another's extraordinary life. Fans and critics alike will debate whether Priscilla's account adds new depth to Elvis's story or simply rehashes familiar details. Some may argue that her perspective, while personal, lacks the critical distance needed to fully unpack the man behind the myth. Others will see it as a necessary counterpoint to the countless biographies written about Elvis without his wife's voice. Where do you stand? Is it fair to judge a marriage through the lens of fame? Or should we separate the personal from the public persona? Share your thoughts below, because this is a conversation that's far from over.